Hello everyone, welcome back to the Handspinner Review Spot YouTube channel. You can click in the link description below to go to our Facebook page for all sort of updates for what's coming up on the channel and that kind of thing. But most importantly, if you haven't already and you like what we're doing here and you're into spinners, please hit the subscription button. That really helps us out and helps keep this channel moving. So, what are we looking at today? Well, as you can see from what's on the table, this is a spinner by SpinNerd, and it is the Arachnophobia. So, bit of a strange name, but we'll come back to that, I'm sure. But first, let's get onto the spinner itself. As you can see, it's a tri-spinner design, and I was contacted by the maker quite early in the production of these. Well, before the production of these, when he was first planning them. He's a great guy, and you can find out all sorts of stuff via. I'll put the link to his group and all that kind of thing in the description below, as I try to do on my videos. But I am rambling so much in this one. I'm sorry, guys. I shall get on. Right, some size comparisons. The Turnian by NTO Designs, the Crusader by Casfly, a rather special and wonderful superconductor stubby by Rotorblade. We'll stick a Tri-Cocoon by Pos Blades up there, and then we'll do a rather special customised mini compass from Zero Feud. And we'll put a standard stubby in there as well. So there you go, that's a few size comparisons in tries and in bars. And then we will grab a Commodore Garden old school bearing wrap and sit that next to it. As you can see, it's not the smallest spinner in the world, given how much it's not being dwarfed by the bearing wrap, but equally it's still a lot smaller. So let's get on. What we got here? Okay, so as I said, the maker contacted me quite early on in his design phase of these, and we chatted, and I'm sure he got opinions from me and from a number of other guys as well, guys and girls, and this is what he finally came up with. This version is in a sandblasted finish. It's stainless steel. It's running at, I did write it down somewhere, I'm sure I did. Oh, I did. It's 75 grams, so it's not the lightest spinner in the world, and we'll come on to why that is as we look at the actual profile. So, first off, I think it's an extremely attractive looking spinner. As tri-spinners go, obviously now we have an awful lot of them on the market, and some would say that some of the designs are getting a little bit dull and repetitive, perhaps. This one, for the fact that it's quite a simple, very clean look, it has a very much its own unique vibe going on, and I really, really like that, and I was similarly effusive when he first showed me the pictures of this. It's, as you can see, got these very clean cutouts around. You have, obviously, 6 there. And it just works for me. There's these rounded arcs, and the whole piece is really heavily dished. And we'll get onto that a bit more later. But as you can see, it's very, very slim. There's a big disparity between the slimness in the middle and the width at the outer edge. So if I get something that's, you know, considered relatively thick in the spinner game, like a Rotorblade stubby here, you can hopefully see just how much thicker the Arachnophobia is at the edge. So yeah, it's an intriguing choice. The buttons themselves have some interesting little quirks about them also. You can see you have these raised ridges that go into dips along here, and then you've got a concave section and then a flat in the middle. It's comfortable, very comfortable indeed. In fact, it causes no problems at all. And underneath these buttons, you have the bearing cage, which is stainless steel, and interestingly enough has been sandblasted as well, so presumably this was all installed and fitted together. Well, actually, I'm talking rubbish because it's not a separate bearing cage, it's actually machined in, so ignore me, I'm having a strange day. But yeah, so as you can see, this has got a sealed full stainless steel bearing in it at the moment, and that brings us on to another little comment, which is the packaging for this, but more importantly, what's actually included in the packaging. So, as you can see, it's a Commodore Garden cardboard box, nicely finished though, with this kind of foiled logo on the top of it. Obviously, this indicates the finish or whatever. And then inside, you have a simple foam insert. Not that you can see it at all with my current lighting. That's very useful, isn't it? You can see you have a replacement bearing. So this shipped with a, I think this was unshielded. Yeah, an unshielded hybrid and a shielded stainless. I hope I'm correct in the way around those are, but I'm sure I am. And then it also came with this little removal tool for the bearing cage on the inside. Now that's unusual. You don't normally see that. One of the only companies that have done that have been Casfly, and their stuff is much higher end and more expensive than the Arachnophobia. So I think it's really, really nice that you included all that, to be honest, and that's a really nice little extra. So the design itself, as I say, it has this real dished quality, and this one being sandblasted, everything's very, very clean. I believe this was available in polished and brushed as well, and it's it's very, very, very nice to use. It's very smooth with this full stainless steel bearing. It's very much along the lines of something like a one drop in terms of its performance. It's very, very good, and that's obviously quite a thing to say. It's got a lovely response to it. It has sort of that dampened quality that you would get from a Shield stainless, but it still feels relatively easy to use. And because you have quite a lot of negative space in here, this is quite a negative taper with maybe a slight positive flare at the end, it feels very, very comfortable. And in the actual spin itself, I mean, you probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but there you go. But you get some really, really interesting effects on certain different backgrounds, and for warping and stuff like that, for you guys that like doing that sort of thing, this would be very, very nice. Overall, the ergonomics are good. Obviously, because it's very slim, where you would actually flick it from, it catches and releases for forward flicks very, very well. It causes no problem at all if you want to, a fast catch and release works nicely. It's certainly not a problem by any means from that point of view. Ergonomic downsides would be maybe that, as much as I really like this real extreme disparity between the thickness in the centre of the body and the maximum thickness at the outer edges, that obviously improves spin time. This has good spin times for its size and for its overall profile. I've had well over 4 minutes out of this, and I'm sure you get way more than that if you put the time and energy in and use the hybrid ceramic. It's good. It's just the fact that these are quite flared and sometimes they feel slightly uncomfortable. I don't know whether that's just me, but there's something about when you pull them back, the way that this raises up leaves this portion here that you're actually in contact with fairly small, which obviously increases the pressure as you push on it. It's minor. Don't get hung up on it. It's not really a big deal, to be honest. It's comfortable enough, and if you like the design, you won't be bothered anyway. Stability wise, if I give this a good strong flick, there is a hair. It's not 100% dead smooth, or dead stable I should say, but it's more than close enough. It's well within acceptable bounds, and I think for the kind of price points that these are going for, head over to the groups and all the rest of it to find out what the current pricing is. This is very, very comfortable. It has no problem at all from the point of view of its stability. And to be honest, I mean, I might be being a little bit cruel on it, saying it's not dead stable. I can just feel something very, very, very minute there, so it's not a big deal. But overall, I'm a big fan of this. I think the Arachnophobia is very, very nice. I'm not really sure about the name, but who cares about that? It's just a really, really nice and quite unique tri-spinner. If you want in many ways, if you were going to buy one Chinese tri-spinner, this would be up there. I'm going to do a little video on a roundup of my favourite lower priced, but, still high quality metal tri-spinners or metal spinners from China in general soon. And this will definitely be high up in the rankings for that. It's very, very, very good. If I take something like my absolute favourite currently, which is here, this is the... what is this? This is the Triad by Damned Designs. It's almost, I almost like it as much as the Triad. It's very, very, very good. For me, the Triad is just a bit smaller, which is more comfortable to my hands. But overall, I couldn't say that there's a massive global difference in the quality of performance out of either of these. So there you go, guys. That's the Arachnophobia, I should say, by SpinNerd. It's a really, really nice spinner. If you like the look of the design and you have the cash on the hip and you fancy one, then absolutely go to the links below and see if you can score yourself one. It's well worth checking out. Thanks very much, guys. I'll catch you at the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.